Well, hi guys. This will be your Tuesday's lesson. We are going to do some diagramming adjectives, and we'll work on some of these together on think, underline the subject and the verb. And then once we figure this out, then we're going to do some diagramming, and we'll do a few things what we're going to do. So before we did this, I hope you guys had glanced on this blue section of the page. You're still trying to find the subject, and then what are the adjectives that reflect the subject, right? This is a different way of doing it. It's you got the subject, and then it gives you a compound adjective. So a, of course, a, and the is an adjective. So a red and is a dotted line, and white. So we're going to be practicing doing that. If you want to look at another thing, climber is a subject, scaled is the action verb. What did the climber scaled? The mountain, right, is an action verb, but still you're going to go ahead and slant underneath the subject or noun that reflects the subject, and those are the adjectives. This is a compound subject. There are some compound adjectives there, and also another adjective that goes along with alley. So this is just an example for you to look at it so you can familiarize with it so you understand before we do the first one. Okay, so let's do number one together. My black pen leaks. First, you're going to find the subject, right? Is pen. So I would suggest that you underline the subject once, and then I want you also to underline the verb twice, okay? So then you'll know what to do there. So when you're going to do the diagramming, we'll able to distinguish between the subject and the verb. Okay, let's get number two. The lonely little girl wept. So what is the subject? The girl, right? Anything that reflects girl, it sure does. Look at all of these. The, a, and the is an adjective. So you would just put adjective, and I would suggest for you to do this. Just put a above it. And so that's just telling you that's an adjective, okay? Wept is the verb, so you just underline that and underline the subject once. So back to number one. Black is an adjective, and my is an adjective, okay? So that reflects the pen. Number three, the yellow taxi stopped and blew its horn. All right, so I already know that the verb is blew, so I'm going to underline what blew, okay? The taxi blew, right? So this is a subject, and this is the verb because it's and, so you would circle that. So it'll be stopped and blew, okay? What reflects taxi? What describes taxi? The yellow, so put adjective, an adjective. It's horn, so horn is also, you have to understand that that is a noun. So what describes horn? Its. So its would be an adjective. Okay? We get number four. We'll do number 1 through 5, and then we'll skip around and do the different ones. Number 4 goes, the big rudder ball bounced. So the verb would be bounced, and then ball would be the subject. What describes ball? The big rubber. So just put a for adjectives there, and then when you diagram it, you'll know what to write there for adjective. Number 5, a cheerful bird sang and twittered. Okay, you already know the verb sang, and see, it's a compound verb, twittered, and then what sang and twittered? The bird. So bird is the subject, but what describes bird? A cheerful. So adjective, adjective. Okay, let's skip down to number 9. I think that's what I would like for us to look at. Number 9 is a little different. The brown and white dog barked a warning. Okay, again, the verb. Barked. Oh, okay, we know that's an action verb. What or who barked? The dog barked. Describe the dog. White. Oh, it's a compound adjective. Brown, and then, of course, the. So adjective, adjective, and adjective. Don't underline these, okay? Barked a warning. Warning is also a noun, right? So a would be an adjective. Okay, so that's for number 9. Let's do one more. Number 10. Noisy mother ducks and their ducklings quacked. I already know that quacked is the verb. Okay, ducklings is the subject here. Okay, but it's noisy mother ducks and, see, so ducks again and ducklings. So there is a compound subject, right? And then the verb. And then also what describes ducks? Noisy mother. So I put adjective here, adjective here. What kind of ducklings? They're ducklings there, an adjective there. You see? So all of the A's you're going to also diagram. You're also going to diagram everything that you underlined and circled. Okay? So that's basically what that is. So if you're going to look at number 1, my black pen leaks. So if you're going to diagram it, I kind of did this for you here. So number 1, you find the subject and verb. Remember, it is going to be, you're going to separate that with a line, past the line, and then the describe pen, my black. So you got to do it in order, okay? So you got to go from left to right, and it's the slant that describes the pen, and then there's the verb. On number 2, it tells you, I'm just going to read the sentence to you. A lonely little girl wept. So you know the girl is a subject, the verb is wept. What describes a girl? The lonely girl. You see what I did there? You're going to write it slant-wise from the left to the right. Number 3, it says, the yellow taxi stopped and blew its horn. So taxi is a subject, but they said there's a compound verb, right? So stopped and blew. So you're going to do the pencil design. Okay, blew. What did they blow? The horn. So that's going to be under here, but it's closest to the verb. So there's adjective. The horn. Remember, a and the is also an adjective. And then the yellow describes taxi. Okay? Skip down to number 9. Number 9 says, the brown and white dog barked a warning. So I know duck and ducklings. Oh, I'm sorry, we're number 9, sorry. The dog barked. Dog is the subject, bark is the verb, and then what did bark? A warning. So that is going to be a direct object, right? So I'm just going to put direct object, so kind of emphasis. Sorry about that line, that doesn't go there. A warning, that's an adjective there. The dog, the brown and white. See, there is a compound adjective. That's why there's an and here, dot, dot, dot. That kind of reflects on this section here, okay? So you're going to do that, and then what type of ducks? Noisy mother ducks. What kind of duck? They're duckling. You see, you got to like underline it here and write the adjectives above it in order to do these correctly, okay? Number 10 says, noisy mother ducks and their ducklings quacked. So ducks and ducklings quacked. You see all the different things there. So that's how you diagram it. I want you to do all of these questions, okay? Even all the ones that we skipped. Go ahead and do all of them. Write the adjective above it, underline the subject and verb, circle the compound conjunction, and then I want you to diagram it all. It's not that much, okay? It's only 14. And then on page 199, you're just going to underline the linking verb twice and then the subject one time, and then circle the predicate adjective, okay? So Peter and Paul were faithful until death. So what you're going to do here is underline the linking verb 2 times. You know, were. They were faithful. So were, I would underline that twice, okay? Then you're going to underline the subject 1 time. Compound subject, Peter and Paul, and you can circle the and, okay? And then circle any predicate adjectives. So remember, we're talking about an adjective. So Peter, Paul were, what were they? They were faithful, weren't they? So then you circle faithful. So that's how you do that section, and hopefully you understand. Just read the directions carefully, underline the linking verb 2 times, and then the subject 1 time, and then circle the predicate. Remember, that is anything that's after the verb, which describes the predicate, okay? So hopefully you'll be able to understand that. I'm just going to read it to you. I want you to look through it. The day is cold and dark and dreary, okay? Remember, is a linking verb, day is the subject, and then it says to circle the predicate. What is describing the day? The day. It was dark and dreary, wasn't it? So you're going to circle dark and you're going to circle dreary. So do 3. I trust you. Do 3 on your own. And then I want you to do all of the diagramming. So when you submit it, you're going to submit this portion, the diagramming portion that I'm going to grade. And then you're going to also be able to get this done and this done. If you can, just on your notebook paper, it's just 3 of them, so write them on your notebook paper, and then it's all one thing, okay? You can do that. If you want to submit this one, you can as well. So do all of this page 198 and then 199, and then also your diagramming. And that is it for Tuesday's lesson. Bye.